Hello everyone and welcome back to UKSG Green. I am your host for the next couple of runs, Howling Mad Mike. We are running a tiny little bit over schedule, so I'm not going to procrastinate. UKSG good, Crisis good, donate please. Please donate, please. And with no further, without any further ado, I'm going to pass it over to Theory UK with Metal Gear Solid 2. Metal Gear 2. Crikey, faux pas already on my part. Metal Gear 2, Solid Snake. Take it away.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm Theory. I've got the other Scott with me doing comms. He doesn't really know much of the game, so he's going to ask me some stupid questions.
No, it's Metal Gear Solid 2, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Metal Gear Solid 2, right, that's fine.
Unfortunately, Apache was going to do my comms, but he's not feeling too great today, so we'll just hope he gets better.
I just can't wait until you start playing the Trident.
We're all good? Ready?
Right.
And 3, 2, 1, go. So this is Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake, not Metal Gear Solid 2. Sons of Liberty.
That's not what I was told.
No, it's it's one of the originals. This which was released in 1990. This game was only released in Japan for a long time, and then in MGS3 when they released the subsistence version, which was like the extras on the second disc, this was added. This and the original game, and I just took an alert there by accident, but it's fine.
Intentional.
Yeah.
Absolutely intentional.
So it's not a big deal anyway.
No,
Just gotta get through this entry.
From the brief 15 minutes you gave me to prep for this, it seems that alerts aren't as detrimental in most places.
There's a few rooms where like getting alerts just like throws the room out, and you have to move back a screen. But for the most part, this doesn't really matter that much. There's a one of the mechanics in this game is if you transition screen while you're on invasion, guards don't follow you until like way later. So we do abuse that. Right now, I'm just basically taking way too many alerts, more than you should. Every time you take an alert, the screen freezes for a second, so you do lose time. That's why we don't try to take too many alerts, only when we really need it. But we're on easy anyway, so HP doesn't matter either. But we're about to get out of this alert anyway.
That sounds like some famous last words to me there.
Yeah,
HP doesn't matter.
I mean, last time my run didn't go so well on the Twin Snakes, so it hasn't started that great, but we should be alright. So we're on our way to the first boss fight. His name's Black Ninja. He's the master of disguise. I think anybody that's ever played Metal Gear Solid 1 or Metal Gear Solid 2 can probably see that there's very big similarities between the original games and those later games. That's because the later games are literally like copy and pasted, almost like lore completely.
Because why make 4 stories when you can make 2?
Yep. And then you can just copy and paste and change, like make them 3D as well. There's a little trick I'm doing here. I'm actually laying down and going into the elevator prone because it actually saves time. Snake doesn't move as far into the elevator when the elevator loads. If you just walk into it, he'll actually just run all the way to like the middle section, which costs time because you just spend more time in the elevator than you need to. And I punch the elevator to get it here early so that if I'm fast enough, the elevator will be ready for me to get into straight away.
Now, for anyone that's in the hotel, that's a thing that does work in real life. If you punch elevators, they come faster.
Yeah.
Please do not punch.
Yeah, don't try. Don't actually try that though. So we're literally like 2 screens away from the boss fight. I've just enter this room and then the next one.
I've just had it in my ears. UKSG is not liable for anyone who breaks knuckles on elevators.
So here we are, Black Ninja. He's gonna. Oh no, we've been fooled, bamboozled. It is not the doctor we're looking for. It's actually Black Ninja, and we're hoping for a good pattern here. Starting off pretty well, and they try not to take too much damage here.
He says as he stands right in front of him and just shoots.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much. Yeah, nice. That was not a bad pattern. So on the PS2 version of this, there is a manipulation that not getting an alert all the way up until this point gets you the best pattern that you can possibly get for the RNG on this boss fight. Every other version doesn't have that, and seeing as we're playing the Master Collection version, which was the re-release, the new one that just came out, the re-release, we're actually playing on NTSC version. It's basically the NTSC port, and that runs at 60 Hertz, but the funniest thing is, or it did originally, obviously it doesn't really matter that much these days, but the funny thing about the originals is PAL is actually faster. In fact, you save 6 minutes over any other version on PS2 PAL, just because it inherently runs faster for some reason. It's because they like oversighted, basically. They went to go match it to NTSC to make it like run better, and ended up like overshooting NTSC, and basically you just save time by playing that game. But we're just playing the NTSC version because it's easier. I don't want to deal with emulators, and anybody that's ever used a PS2 emulator will know how unstable those things are. So I'll just run this.
Also, for anyone who's ever ran Metal Gear games at all, knows
Yeah.
every single version has some form of difference in it.
Yeah. Yeah, they generally have, like, sometimes it's bigger, sometimes it's smaller. In this instance, it's quite big. I mean, you literally save 6 minutes just by playing the PS2 PAL version. There's actually a point at the... I forgot to change cards here. There's actually a point at the end of the game, at the very end of the game when we're escaping, where Snake's speed is just sped up, even in all versions. And in the NTSC or any other version of the game, other than PS2 PAL, that speed that Snake ends up at is actually PAL speed all the way through the game.
Now, this is one part of the game that I do know. He does need to be pretty careful here. Needs to follow the Green Beret guy. Many times was it you said again?
It's twice. I have to do this whole section twice round. And he changes his pattern on the second time, so I might not say too much here, just because I need to make sure I'm not, like, overstepping. And I'm actually following this guy properly, because I only have, when he leaves the screen, I only have like a few seconds to follow him. If I don't follow him within that time frame, the room resets, and I'm basically, like, I lose like 2-3 minutes, 4 minutes, something like that. Something really ridiculous. Probably even more than that, actually. So I'm going to try not to mess up. I barely ever mess this up, and you can just stand here and do a lot of things, and it doesn't do anything.
I'm getting very much that slapstick comedy vibe of someone walking down a corridor thinking someone's following them.
Yep, yeah. He even, like, turns so many times, he just still never sees you. I don't know how he doesn't see you there if he turned all the way around.
Well, we've both ran Metal Gear Solid 3, we know how oblivious the guards can be at points.
Yeah, Metal Gear tends to have completely oblivious guards, even though they're supposed to be. I know in Metal Gear Solid 1 they talk about how they're the genome soldiers are, like, genetically modified. They're like the best soldiers ever made, and then you can literally stand in front of them, like right in front of them, and they can't see you. So I'm running this on easy as well because it's just like the normal, like, default any %. You can run on original, but original is actually different. It's basically the original Japanese version, which is the only difficulty in that one, and everything's completely different, like timings, like guard routes, things like that. There's a lot of differences in it, and I'm not going to do that. So
No. How long did it take you to learn this run, roughly?
not long, probably like 2 hours, something like that. Like, to really like learn it, and then really the learning in this version of the game is, because it's the older versions, is like menus. Your menus are like so much like time consuming in this game because they're not like 3D ones. Like, you can open both menus at the same time, but it's like in the newer ones, anybody who's played new ones, when you get a new level card, it just overwrites the one you've got in there. This one literally has 9 cards that we have to pick up, and you have to switch to them and know. Basically, it's remembering every door you need to open and what card goes to it, so that you don't waste time in the menus.
So if anyone's interested in it, by the sound of things, it's a pretty easy game to pick up, but probably difficult to master.
Yeah, pretty much exactly that. It's like, but it's not that bad. Like, it's quite easy to learn it, and then what I did, which people would like is easy enough to do, is just make notes of the cards and what doors the cards go to, and then eventually you're just like, you just get it into muscle memory, and you know, like, exactly, like, I don't have to worry, because I know what doors and what cards open what door.
But you also had a house test to help you with that.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. Shout out to the house test. He's actually done a lot for MG2 recently. In fact, he found a 1 second time save before I came here. Just randomly, he was doing a D-Rust run, just a one-off thing or whatever, and he managed to just find a 1 second time save. I'm probably not going to use it just because I haven't practiced it that much. And I don't want to take an alert in that room, because an alert in that room is actually one of the rooms where I don't want to take an alert because it will lose me a lot of time.
So when do we meet Otacon?
Never.
Oh.
He's not around in this one. I don't even know if he's alive in this one. He's probably not even born yet in this one.
No, Otacon's got to be. If Raiden was alive, and because you play Raiden, don't you?
No. Oh. He is alive though, as we found out.
As we found out.
He's just in his young teens. I don't know what he's doing because it never really talks about it. It only talks about him being a child soldier, and then you only meet him in 2, and he talks about the rest of his stuff there.
So for those that came for the luscious blonde long hair, I'm sorry, yous are pretty disappointed. I was hoodwinked as well.
Need to pick up one more mine, there we go. So I'm picking up the mines here because we're going to make our way to the next boss fight. There is a couple of, there's 2 major glitches that we do use in this run. I'm not using them today because they're just IGT manips, and we're not doing IGT because we're doing RTA because we're at an event. So, but basically, oh, go further down. Yeah, this is the swamp, so I need to follow a specific pattern. I'm actually using visual cues on here. I know it looks like I just walking across like certain lines, but there are actual visual cues that I know to look for. Yeah, so we do IGT. That's how we time everything on the board, and there is IGT manips. It's basically every time you see the Foxhound logo come up on screen, that's a checkpoint in the game. If you take a death, your game will go back to that, will revert to that checkpoint, the last checkpoint it had, but the IGT will also revert back to what it was at that checkpoint's time. But the game progresses, so all the story flags will, any story flag you've passed and done will stay ticked off.
Delightful.
So we're able to reset the IGT to a less time, but keep all the story flags.
Interesting.
So we use it at 2 codecs, but I'm not going to use it, obviously I'm just going to play it. And this is Running Man, this is the best boss. This screen will flash, so I will say a warning. There's a couple of flashing screens in this game, so anybody that needs to like know that stuff, just be aware that when he takes damage in this screen, it will flash. So if you need to look away now. And that's Running Man. That's actually Kojima's favourite boss, by the way. Canon. That's Kojima's favourite boss. And there he is. He turns into a cookie, and then he explodes.
Just Kojima things.
That's arguably one of the best bosses in any game. What does he do? How does he beat you? He doesn't. He just runs. That's literally how he does it. So we needed to kill him to get the level 3 card. And now we're going to backtrack, because this game has more backtracking than MGS1. I know, surprising. MGS game with backtracking. Yeah, this does have more backtracking than Metal Gear Solid 1. Unfortunately.
So wait, did I just see right that you had to swap back to the level 2 keycard even with a level 3?
Yep.
So you have to menu that every time you walk through a door that is different from the others?
Exactly. Which is why we menu in certain spaces, because it's just more convenient. Like we menu a lot in elevators while we're going up or down, because there's nothing you can do in an elevator besides menuing or walk around. So we might as well just use that to quickly menu while you can't move anywhere, while we can't progress.
Whoever's ahead of all this really has a big wallet to carry all those cards.
Yeah. Well, Snake's just got, like, infinite pocket space. I mean, look, trust me, by the end of the game, you'll see what he's carrying. I mean, he won't be carrying that many weapons, but he'd be carrying a lot of items somehow. Like, all these cards, rations.
The less questions asked, the better, probably.
Yeah. So I'm going to switch to card 3, and I'm going to switch to the pistol. We need to go pick up the Stinger, because our next fight is the Hind. Funny enough, like, same thing that's in MGS1. Same bosses almost. I'm going to try for a yeah, it didn't work. If you shoot at a certain point there, that guard can cross the bridge, it just makes it easier coming back. I'm just going to have to punch him to distract him. So we'll grab the Stinger. And we'll make our way up. I'm going to use a mechanic here. Basically, like I said earlier, every time you take an alert from a guard, the screen freezes. If you take an alert off a camera, it doesn't. So we don't lose time when we take an alert from a camera. So we just carry on running there, take the alert, and it won't matter because this guard can't see us anyway, and he turns. Even if he could see us, he turns away anyway. And then we get to the next screen, and because we're outside, it just resets. And now we got to make it to the desert with the singing sand. That's actually what it's called. It's sand that makes noise when you step on it. So it's called singing sand.
Oh, I think I've seen this bit.
Yeah.
I think I've seen this bit.
I'm just going to run through the mine because it's easy and we don't care about HP, and after every boss fight we get full HP bar anyway.
Damage manipulation, guys.
Pretty much. I'm actually going to shoot this guy just because I don't want to take the damage from him. So upcoming fight is the Hind D. Once again, this screen will flash throughout this fight as I shoot him, so anybody that needs to look away.
I believe this is the last time for any proper flashes.
There's 2 more, but they're not till a little bit later. But I'll announce them anyway, like I've done.
We'll make sure there's ample warning.
This is going to be one, so like if you need to look away, this screen will flash. Look away now. I'm going to switch this thing out, and then I need to shoot it. He needs to be within this inner square of my crosshair here. As long as he's in that inner square, it doesn't miss. He can fly in and out of it though, so it is like active. So if you shoot and he flies out of it, it won't hit him. It's not just oh, he was on screen at the time you shot. No, it is like he's constantly moving.
So for anyone that doesn't know, that is technically 3 Hind fights we have in the Metal Gear series. And by the sound of things, that's the easiest one.
Oh, I took it back here, that's not good. I'm going to have to reset this. screen quickly. I didn't transition screen, I went too far up on the screen, so I'm going to have to wait for the alert to reset here so I can go back up and do this properly. Yep. There we go. Need to distract him walking in, need to grab the cardboard box, very important. Anybody who's played MGS3 will know how OP the cardboard box is in that game. It's not that OP in this game, we literally use it one time here. Just because we need to get in there.
Well, that's quite disappointing.
Yeah, unfortunately. MGS3's box is way better. Switch back to card 3, go up here and punch this guard on transition. Yeah, you can punch them on the transition if you're quick enough. Grab that ration, I need to answer this call to progress the story. This is where Holly is introduced. She's basically the Meryl of this game, and we need to go save her, because she's trapped in a sewer somewhere behind a wall. And we need to go down there and save her. So this is the spiral. It's just a random like set of corridors that spiral into themselves, and there's 2 elevators inside of them. We're going to need to go to the first one. So I'm just going to walk around here. There's not much to this section. It's literally just punching these guards, walking past them. Trying to not step on those plates because it will distract them. They'll hear the noise.
So they had that mechanic all the way back when this game was created then as well?
Sound, yeah, noisy floors. This is where the other games get it from.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first game in the series that started to build on the story. That actually put like, they were like, oh, I guess Metal Gear is popular, people like the first one or whatever, let's actually like make a game out of it. So they decided to make this one. As you can see, it's got loading screens, like actual graphics, stuff, like they've actually put some effort into it.
Actual graphics.
Yeah, well yeah, I mean, for its time. Considering this was released on like the MSX2, I think, in Japan, so it's the only place you could get it. It's just a home computer, basically.
I bet you this game would have looked beautiful back then.
Yep. Yeah, it brought for its time. I mean, it still looks good to this day.
It's aged well enough.
Yeah. Also, the soundtrack in this is arguably, for me, my favourite out of the series. It has like some of the best soundtrack in Metal Gear of all time, in my opinion. It has some good bangers on this.
But it doesn't have Snake Eater.
No, but there's a lot of tracks in this game and the first game that were used in the VR missions of MGS1. So anybody that's ever played the VR missions as a kid will have heard them.
And for anyone that speedruns VR1,
yeah, well,
feel sorry for you.
So yeah, we're in the sewers. This dark patch, you move faster, so we're just going to go underneath the water like I've got here. I have an O2 meter, but once again, I'm going to take damage, it doesn't matter. We literally get a reset, and none of the bosses are even that hard in this game anyway, so we have to go up to the armory. I need to pick up some grenades from the armory for the next boss, who is, what's his name? Red something. Red Blaster. That's it, he chucks grenades from the ceiling.
So how do you beat someone that throws grenades?
Get some more grenades.
Throw your own?
Yep, exactly that. Open this door. The armory. I'm gonna come in here and punch this wall to distract this guy, and he distracted the wrong way, but oh well, it's fine. We just won't get an alert in here. It's actually faster to take an alert coming out of here, but I probably won't take anything now, so I'll just go out normally. Unless he sees me coming up this way. No.
Yep.
He was looking a completely different way. There'll be times where it looks like I'm running past the guard and he should see me. It's because they look in like, literally their vision is like, if you think about it like left to right, they go like left. I just went up, that's not where I want to go. I need to go back down. They look like left, then like center left, then like middle, then right left, like middle right, and then right. So they have like they have literally like all the cone. So there'll be times where he's like looking at me, but he's actually not. He's looking off slightly, which is good for us because we basically know where the guards are going to look for the most part every time we enter a room and need to distract them.
You say us, but you mean you.
Yeah, yeah. Anybody that runs this game.
So you in-house.
There's a few other people. Jag runs it. Joe runs it.
There's not very many things Jag doesn't run in the Metal Gear series.
We've got a couple of new runners that have been running it that have actually been putting up some really cool times as well. So
you managed to indoctrinate more people in?
Yeah, it needs it. This game definitely needs it.
Absolutely not.
Now you're gonna learn MGS2, aren't you?
I am. That is this week's plan. I can't bring MGS3 back to UKSG after my last 2 attempts.
Nah, Apache's done it as well, so I've done plenty of times. But
Apache's not here, I can blame him for how bad that 2-player 1 controller went. You'll never know.
Although he was there. Yeah. But yeah, I started with MGS2, so it is a good. That's a good sweep game. Well, that's just all about execution for the most part. So yeah, we're gonna go up to Red Blaster. We gotta go up to the 30th floor from this elevator. It's the only elevator that goes up there. I'm gonna switch to the ration for an upcoming thing after the fight, because I don't need the card out right now, and it just saves menuing later.
Does that say you have 30 grenades?
Yeah, when I picked up 2 sets of grenades, they give you like 15 each in each pack. This game's a lot of elevators, as you can tell. Just part of the game. It is what it is. They're basically just loading screens for the most part. I'm just standing here waiting for this elevator to finish, and then once I step out, I get an actual loading screen. And then I'm going to hold A and to the left, and that's going to skip text. So anytime there's a text box that's going to come up on screen, I'm just going to hold A through it, even if it's slower moving text anyway, because there is a few text boxes that move slow in general. They're like cutscene text boxes, because obviously there's not actual cutscenes in the game. But there is, but they're not like how we would think about cutscenes these days. And they'll still like skip the text quicker. So this is Red Blast. They're pretty simple. I'm just going to go back and forth, chuck grenades in. And then when he starts flashing red, so on this last grenade, that will finish him. And then I'm going to move down to be ready to go through this door at the bottom here. Because it automatically opens on its own once the boss fight's over. And now we're going to go up and we need to get to the pigeon. This is like one of the other like main points of RNG in this game. There's a pigeon that we need to get like a little like note off of. And you can get the worst RNG and he's pretty much in a bad... No, he's in a good spot. Oh.
Should have used Boba Skip there.
That's what I mean by this pigeon being like... This is a run killer right here. He can fly around for a while. We have the rations on to lure him. Literally, the rations are there because if you don't have the rations on, he won't ever land on you. But I need him to land. Nice, he's landing. Finally, he didn't last that long. He didn't stay up that long. And I called the wrong number. So I'm just going to call the number that you basically get off this note. I already know the number, so I just go straight to it. And then he speaks Czech, so we don't understand Czech, so we have to go call Madna, and he tells you about a soldier, a woman soldier on the base who is Czech, so she can speak and translate for it.
So you're saying you have to check with someone else?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah, we have to check in. So we're going back down, and now we're going to go find Gustava, who's that woman soldier. Or freedom fighter, wherever she is, basically. This game doesn't do a great job of, like, pointing the player in the direction of where the story's supposed to go, like where your next thing is. If you play casually, it does. If you, like, watch all the... Oh, yeah, I need to switch weapons because I can't punch with plastic explosives. It does tell you where to go, but it's not like games these days. It's not as obvious. It doesn't say, literally just say, oh, yeah, now we need to go this way. It's like, you have to read all the text, listen to the codec calls, and, like, pay attention.
So this is the original Dark Souls?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's not as straightforward because you're talking about a game that was released in 1990, and the original was like what 87, I think. So something like that. But we know where we're going, so I don't need any of the story.
Story is slow.
Yeah.
Gotta go fast.
Exactly. Although the story, the only percent of this game is just play the game. Play the story, basically. But just do it faster and more optimally. So we gotta go back through the spiral, back to the first elevator we went down, go back down again, swim all the way back round to the same door, but then we need to go back to building 1 from that elevator. So the sewers interconnect both buildings of the base. We're in building 2 or tower 2. Now we're gonna go back to building 1. We need to go up to the 4th floor on building 1.
Backtracking, the biggest enemy in every Metal Gear Solid game.
This time we can just get in the water here. Go way easier. Like I said before, you always want to be in this dark patch. If you're on the light patch, even if you're underwater, you don't move as fast. Being underwater makes you move faster in general, which is why we do it all the way down here. But being in a dark patch there on either side is where you want to be when you're on those sides. Otherwise you're just wasting time. So back in this elevator. Now I do want to go up. The mistake I made before is now what I want to do. I do want to go up now. This elevator goes up to floor 2, and then we have to switch over to the next elevator to go up the next 2 floors. So we'll go to floor 2. And we go to this elevator, which we came up in the beginning of the game. Come to this floor to get the key card. Now we're going to get in this one and go up another 2 floors. This next room, I need to walk through the door, and as soon as I transition, I need to turn down and punch this guard. He might alert me, which is fine. No, he didn't. That's fine. It's because this room is on that sensor there will spot you. Like, it's on a super tight timing, so I need to punch that guard and make it past that sensor. Otherwise, I just take an alert and the room becomes awkward. Wait for this guard to go past far enough, and then I just transition the room and he can't see me.
So for those potentially looking at picking this game up, out with the menus, where would you find that the hardest parts are to learn?
This one here. So this first door is card 1. Then card 4. Then we're going to have 2 doors that take card 3. I'm going to run over it. This room's completely dark, but I know where the door is. It's basically right next to the life text on the bar. This is card 3. And then we're going to go back to card 4 in the next room. These 2 rooms are random where the guards spawn. I can't choose this. I may get an alert here. Just there's nothing I can do about it. I either get a good spawn in here or not. And there's nothing you can do. It's like just pure RNG. It's kind of annoying because the alert wastes like a second when it freezes. And you can't choose where those guards spawn. You have to come back here as well. You have to backtrack that same room. So you could take like basically 4 alerts there. And there's nothing you can do. You just lose time.
So see the other 2 rooms that were just surrounded with guards?
Yeah.
How did you manage to get past them? There's no way that's the 9 different movements.
Oh, no, the rest of those guards are fake.
Oh.
There's only 2 or 3 guards in that room that are actually real. They're all like dummies. They're all just fake guards. I guess it's just to like make it look like there's loads of guards, like the base has loads of actual guards and they're not, but it doesn't. There's just a bunch of fake guards in there. But we're going to go down to the sewers. From here on out for a little bit, when I get into elevators, I can't actually crawl. I could crawl there, and that's the last time I could crawl in an elevator for a little bit. Because I'm going to have people with me. I've got Gustav here, and we're going to go pick up Dr. Madnar. And when you've got people in your party, you can't crawl. So basically, we'll enter the elevator, and we'll just move really far into the elevator. Basically, you'll see what I mean by why we crawl into an elevator in comparison to just standing and walking into it. Like on this elevator here, you'll see. When I get into this one, I'm not even... Snake will move in on his own. I can't actually control him until he's finished moving. So as soon as it transitions, like I'm not touching anything. He just walks in that far. He walks like right to the halfway mark. Whereas if we crawl, he stops about here. So here we go. We're going to pick up Dr. Madnar. There's no input here. He just automatically runs to him. I just have to hold A to skip the text. Then we're back in. So now we're going to go up to the canyon. We need to cross a bridge. But we can only do it one at a time, so we need to get up there. The switch card. I need to go to card 5. A lot of this game is menu optimization as well. Like once you start learning it and learning how items. So the items are categorized. When you pick up an item, they're categorized by when you pick them up. So it's relatively simple. Like it's not like you pick up card 5 and it just gets put in a random spot in your inventory. It's literally the next key item. The only thing you'll ever have that's always at the end of all the items is rations. They never go in between cards. They're always at the end of every item in your list for the most part, at least in the run. Not 100% sure about it, like 100%. There might be slight differences there with the items you pick up in that, but at least for any percent, rations will always be at the end of the cards. So every card you pick up will always be one after another in number order.
Would this be a good spot just to quickly interject?
Yeah.
Right, we have an $82 donation from Anonymous. Thank you very much. You could have left your name, but I would have read it out. But with the comment, thanks y'all for all the fun and keeping those great events going. And that $82 has gone towards the Spyro Trilogy Trifecta, any percent, crikey, that's a mouthful, bonus any percent run. And that has seen the $800 amount met, so that run will be happening. So thank you very much, and please do keep those donations coming in.
Nice. Spyro runs are always great. I've seen a couple of them. So this is the bridge we got across. We have to go one at a time. So nothing could ever happen, right?
Nothing,
Like,
no.
Nothing could ever happen to a bridge that's across a canyon, right?
It's definitely not going to allow both of those
There
to
is
walk
flashing
over.
on this screen, so after this text box there will be flashing, so when I move up. So anybody wants to look away now, look away.
Oh no!
I guess something happened. Yeah, that was obvious. I mean, I'm sure we could all see that coming. Like, there's a bridge, and we can only move across it one at a time, and we have to get over the other side.
To be fair, I thought it was going to be when you got over the bridge.
No, unfortunately not. Me and Gustavo never made it. They got Dr. Madnar. And it was all done by Grey Fox in Metal Gear.
The Grey Fox?
Yep, the Grey Fox. Before he was in his, this is actually pre-Ninja, before he became the Cyborg Ninja one. This is before he got turned into that. So yeah, now the bridge is gone and we need to get over to that canyon. So now we have to backtrack all the way to Building 1 to grab a glider.
Woo! Backtracking!
Yep. So we have to go, and this time we can't even take an elevator. We literally just have to run all the way back, because it's quicker. So I am going to run all the way through the desert. I need to pick card 4.
So while we're running, is it alright if I just step in for
Yep.
a second?
Yep.
Yeah, just want to remind everyone you are watching UKSG Green and we are raising money for Crisis. Now, just in regards to donation incentives, we have a delicious batch of Iron Brew and Rubicon goodies that could all be yours. What about an amazing Secret of Monkey Island mirrored panel or the Galaxian? I'm sure you've seen those on the stream. You can win those, but all you have to do is make a donation. In regard to the prizes, you can check out the details on our website, but in brief, if you donate a minimum of $25 total, doesn't have to be in one lump, you're in the prize pot to win one of those amazing prizes. So please do keep the donations coming in. It just turned 4 o'clock, but there is still plenty more time to get your donations in, so please do. And if you have your Amazon Prime, you want to drop that sub on the channel, very much appreciated. Back to you, Theory.
Thank you. Yeah, we just went back through the desert. I have that green ration that I needed for the pigeon. Well, we don't need it at all anymore, so basically we just walk through mines, take damage, have the ration equipped, use the ration automatically because we reach 0 HP, and it just gets rid of it out of our inventory. So it makes it easy for menuing, clears up the menus a little bit. We're actually going to punch here. Even though this strat that I'm doing now is slightly slower than the optimal one, it's just it just sets that guard up a bit better for like safety. Yeah, so it gets rid of the ration, makes the menu easier to get through. And also, as soon as the ration goes, the card we need is literally one step over to the left, like one click over to the left, so it's optimal for getting the card on that we need. So we got the glider now. Now we have to backtrack all the way back to the same place. But we're going to use the elevator this time because we need to go freeze the brute, so we're going to do it a little bit differently than just running back through the desert. So
Imagine doing this before IGN guides were a thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's like you'd have to know beforehand how you even get through this game because it's not like the game really explains it very well.
I mean, from the games that I have played, we did have that it's on the back of the CD box.
Yeah, I don't know if there actually was anything like that on the original one. There was definitely nothing like that on like Subsistence, so you wouldn't have had it when it got ported into the West. But I don't know if there was something on the cartridge or something, or the box back in the day. There might have been something like that, like a number or something. I think there was, in the first codec we take with Madnar, when we walk into the room, he's doing Morse code on the wall for the codec number. So I think there was like a thing in there that told you how to read Morse code.
Right.
Otherwise, I mean, this is 1990s. I don't think, I mean, the internet wasn't as big as it was now, so I don't think you'd be able to just look up Morse code. Unless you knew.
You don't know Morse code theory?
I don't.
No, me
I
neither.
just know the number, so I don't need the Morse code. I don't need to work it out. I just know his codec. So yep, come back through here again. So I need card 1. Then card 4. And then card 3. The best bit about this room is like you see, I have to crawl under. You just crawl into the wall and Snakes like slides into it. And then that door, you just walk basically just in front of where it says life on the health bar, and you'll always like hit the door there. And you kind of bump into the door anyway. You can bump into doors. Where are the guards? I actually got lucky on this one. All right, clean. Clean run. No alerts in this second room, only an alert in the first room. It's fine. So now we're going to go into this door here, which is the freezer. Get card 1. Open that. I'm going to pick up this ration. I'm going to open this door. Switch to the brooch. And I need to wait for this to change into a key. Kind of like the power key, you know, from MGS1. It's similar. That's where the concept comes from. The hot and cold, although we just freeze it in this one.
Yeah, I'm struggling to see how you managed to freeze it into the right position, but
Yeah, but I don't know. They worked on it a little bit more for Metal Gear Solid 1.
Kojima.
Yeah, which was the game after this, so...
I mean, everyone loves the PAL keys, and
Yeah, I'm sure they... I mean, we always, you always hear about, oh, when's the PAL skip coming? Because everybody loves it. They don't actually want to skip PAL. They don't want to... They always want to backtrack.
it just adds value to the game.
Yeah. Replayability. Because you have to play it so many times just to get it right. So yeah, we're just going to go back the same route we took when I had Gustava and Madnar with me. Back this way, back up to the surface.
I'm quite sad that the glider never come back in any other games.
Yeah, they didn't use it in any other games. There was only this one. But then you don't really need to jump to an island. Maybe in MGS2 they could have used something like a form of glider or something. That would have been...
Who actually cares about people in ninja suits? I want more gliders.
Exactly. So we go back up. Switch cards. And then we need to get up to the roof so that we can obviously glide, jump off from a high enough height to glide over to the island. And no one could possibly have any kind of trap set up going that way, could they?
Traps? No.
Not in this game. I actually have to be very quick there because that second guard, obviously, as you can see, is following behind him. And so you only get like a few seconds to move and punch that first guard before you get spotted. I almost got spotted there, luckily I didn't. So, I'm going to go to this first elevator in here again. Not that one, we don't need to go back to that one ever again. I'm going to hit this one, but instead of going down, we're actually going to go up. And it's going to take us up to the 19th floor. But I'm going to place some mines. Don't worry about it. No ambush. Actually need to pick that one back up.
Where have I seen this before?
Yeah, I mean, if you played MGS1, you would know that this is the same fight that's in that game. It's called the Four Horsemen. Yeah, this game has it as well. That's where MGS1 got it from. As I said before, these games copy each other and they all came from this one.
I'm seeing so much from the previous games.
Yep. This game literally started it all and they just copy and pasted it for the most part. So I place these, they take 3 mines each on easy. I'm literally just going to circle around and they're just going to jump into the mines. That's going to die. And this is the last one's going to die and I'm going to stand right here because when he dies, this level 7 card will spawn right here. So I don't have to pick it up, it just automatically picks up. And that was the Four Horsemen.
That was a nice little dance you done with them.
Yeah. So we couldn't get to the roof from that way because the elevator, blew up and collapsed. Somehow we survived 19 floors falling down. It's Snake. What are you going to do?
Just Snake things.
Yeah, exactly. No one else could do it. And so we're going to take the outer elevator and we're going to go up that way because there's an alternate route to the roof. You'll also see a familiar thing coming up in this next section. It's another trope of Metal Gear, and it's actually only seen in Metal Gear Solid 1, but you'll know it when you see it, trust. I won't spoil it. It also has probably my favourite theme in the entire game, like music theme, so I need to switch to this, plastic explosive, and card 7. So this is the alternate roof, the way to the roof. Anybody that's played this game will know what's upcoming. Anybody that hasn't, well, you'll probably have seen this in Metal Gear Solid 1 if you've ever played that game. Gonna switch to grenades. Oh, what's this?
It's tower.
It's a tower climb, so we have to
We're
run up.
getting Bob Whiskap!
Yeah, no, not in this one, unfortunately. Not in this. So we have to climb 20 floors. So on the 20th is where that's all we have to climb up. Luckily, we don't have to climb up like in MGS1. I think you have to climb up like what 30 something floors. This game we don't have to. Just 20. And I'm going to pick up some spare pistol ammo along the way because I don't have enough for the end of the game, and I need well, it's going to give me like 60 plus shots, so which is more than enough. What I need. If you have a better Black Ninja than I had, you can basically get like 18 to 20 shots for the whole game, and that's all you need for the pistol. So.
Because espionage.
Yeah.
It's not all about shooting things.
Oh, these little white things, I never explained them. They're spider silk. They're like super strong spider silk.
So it's
They have-
literally spiders.
Yeah, it's just spider silk. They do explain it, but it's like, I mean, Metal Gear is like, it's like,
Nano machines.
yeah, it's like fantasy action. Because it's like, there's stuff in there that's like so out of this world, almost like spider silk. What is it? Because that's why they're so strong. That's why it takes a few steps to get through. You have to walk into it, because it's spider silk and it's just super strong.
Genome spiders.
Yeah, well, like I said, the game explains it. I actually don't know what the explanation is because I've never read.
Have you actually ever played this game casually?
No.
No.
No, I've
Okay.
only ever speedrun it, and I'm not going to play it casually now because,
Do you know the speedrun?
yeah, it's
It'd
just
be
like
wasted.
there's no point. Yeah, there's no point. I don't particularly want to walk through every text box and stuff. I know most of the story, but oh yeah, there's a couple of trapdoors on floors that doesn't matter. You literally step over them so fast that you never fall through them. Basically, I think you can't fall through them until the door's fully open anyway. So it's kind of just a visual
Makes
thing.
sense.
Yeah. We're almost there. I think we're on 19th floor now. Yeah. One more floor to go, and then we'll be on our way to the next island, to the final part of the game, really, the final half. We're going to be on that island for the rest of the game. So there's a spare box of ammo there. You don't need it. It's just a waste of time, and I'm pretty sure it's booby trapped anyway.
Obviously.
So yeah, 20th floor, and we just step through the door. This does have a banger track, I'm not gonna lie. That's in my opinions. This is the room that House actually found the 1 second time save on. I'm gonna do the old method just because it's safer. So we're gonna come through here, punch the wall, distract the guard, and then walk through the silk so that he's not distracted by the silk, because it does make noise. And I'm gonna come up here, this is gonna distract this guard, and I'm just gonna punch him when he comes out. And then I'm gonna equip the cigarettes, because there's gonna be 6 codec calls on this next screen that I'm gonna pay attention to. And on the 6th one, I can switch to the glider. If you wait too long, Snake will start smoking his cigarette. And that's also another key to know when to like jump off the edge with the glider. He'll sort of put up his animation to go take a toke on his cig. But if you just wait 6 codec calls on the for the flashing of the codec, then after the 6th one, you just jump. Normally when you first start running this game, you wait for the animation just because it's safer, because you're not that too good on the timings, but obviously I've been running for a little bit now, so it's easy enough to do. The only trouble is like, that's why I do the SIG early in the room before. You could just switch to SIG in the room with the glider, but when you go into the menu, you don't really pay attention to the codec calls, so you might miss one and then wait too long
Then
anyway.
wait a wee bit too long.
Yeah, so
That
I
makes
just switch
sense.
early. So yeah, that's the glider. We're now on this island. I don't have control yet. I have to wait for Snake to dump the glider and move up a bit. And now we're going to move to the next boss, Jungle Evil, which is this game's Fury. And I know Scott here has run MGS3 before, twice. You've all seen Apache run MGS3 plenty of times. And this is the boss in this game. This is basically this game's Fury. He is RNG. There's 4 squares, and he basically just hides and pops up. And you want him to pop up in this first square that we start in, because we're not going to move. But he can just decide to pop up in any of these 4 squares at any given time. So luckily, he's actually here, which is good. I can sit behind this box. There is a quicker route strat to this. If you just run out in the open, hit him with a grenade, and then run to where you hit him, he should spawn like pretty close to that section. I'm just going to go safer to not take, because you can't die here. I'm just going to go safe to not take too much damage. He's actually giving me really good RNG because he's spawning right in front of me, which is great. All my practice runs have been pretty bad RNG, so I guess that's like, you know, just marathon luck as it goes. And I just missed that grenade because I chucked it the wrong way.
I mean, the setup for this was pretty bad in RNG, so
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so many controller problems.
I think you've siphoned all the bad luck so far.
Yeah, hopefully. So that's Jungle Evil. I actually got a good one, so that wasn't really the Fury that time.
No, I was going to say, I think you lied to me.
Yeah, usually he's just like, he just pops up in random screens and you're kind of just waiting there. You could chase after him, but it's just there's no point. It's a waste of time. Like,
By the time you would get to
yeah.
him, he would have moved again.
Yeah, exactly. And he might just move to the screen you were just on, and now you're just chasing him, so you just wait for him to come there. Luckily, like we saw there, he literally just sat by the box, which is perfect.
Was that an egg you picked up?
Yeah, that's for the next area. We're going to the prison camp, and we need an owl egg. Because there's a couple of guards at the prison camp. I just got... That's fine. Just lose a little time because of the alert. So there's a guard guarding the laser grid gate at the prison camp that we need to get through, and there's a switch. It's only on his side. So obviously, as everyone knows, if you hear an owl, even in the middle of the day, it means nighttime. So it means it's time to go to bed.
Oh, right, okay. I thought there was going to be some form of bribery or...
No.
I don't know, at least chucking the egg off his face.
No.
No? Okay.
No. So I'm going to chuck the grenade here to distract those two guards. They always walk up. As far as I'm aware, and House has said this as well, he's never seen them walk anywhere but up when you chuck a grenade. So if they ever do, then you might be the most unluckiest person because no one else has ever gotten it. But we've never seen it. And he's never seen it, and I've never seen it.
I'm not going to run the game because I know for a fact that that would be me.
To be honest, knowing your luck, you probably would. You'll find some weird thing that we just never... I mean, if it's a good thing and it's helpful, we're all for it. But if you find that they don't always go that way, and you're the one that finds it, that's like, yeah, that would be. I'm going to punch this wall to distract this guard. It's actually just going to make the routing on the guards a bit better in there, so I don't take too many alerts. Because, once again, like, most of the guard routes are like, they're set. But when you turn up to a point where a guard can see you, it's random. You don't know where that guard's going to be for the most part, because he's off screen. So I'm literally just punching that to make it a little bit more consistent. So I'm going to equip the egg here. By the way, the egg's hatching the whole time, so I don't need it equipped while I'm running to this area. But obviously we equip it here because I need the owl to be out for it to hoot. So this is the guard that we're waiting on. When this egg hatches, it takes a bit. This is on a timer. There's nothing I can do. I basically just have to wait for the egg to hatch. The owl comes out, and then you still have to wait for a bit for the owl to actually hoot and make a noise. I pretty much need this guard to be walking to the button there that you can see on the wall when the owl hoots, but that's kind of based on those random timings of when you get here and the actual timings of the guards, and that can be affected by everything like alerts in previous rooms, how long it took me to get through a previous room, things like that.
And is the owl's hoot also RNG, or
no?
Is
That's
that
always
set
it's a set time. I don't know what the actual time is. I don't know if anybody's actually looked at the time because it doesn't matter because you just stand
I was
here.
going to say if it's set, then you're never going to look at it anyway.
So that's actually perfect because I think he was about to walk there anyway. So now I'm going to come off the owl because it will actually keep hooting and making noise, and that will distract guards and bring them to me. So I want to make sure once he's walking to their thing, like, just take it off.
Well, if you were an owl and you were stuffed in somebody's pocket, I'm pretty sure you'd hoot as well.
Yeah, I mean, you'd probably do a lot more than hoot. You'd probably start pecking at the person as well and attacking them. Just like the seagulls in MGS2 if you start shooting them. Which isn't this game, by the way. This is MG2, not MGS2.
For everyone at home, I was lied to, and I thought this was MGS2.
You weren't lied to. You knew what you were getting into. So yeah, we're going to the next boss, which is, once again, another easy boss. As I said, all the bosses in this game are pretty easy. I don't even think they're that hard on original either. Or even if you're doing big boss, they're not that hard. You just, big boss rank is just not to take any damage and things like that, and no ration usage. And no saves, but I mean, that would just void the run anyway if you saved, because that would not be a single segment. This is Night Fright. He's invisible, but this fight is so easy because we walk into a specific spot and just launch grenades and he walks into them. And he may walk away, but he'll always come back. So he always comes here. So he may even walk away, but he gets away from my grenades basically. Or if he chooses to stand, so like, he tries to run away and then he just doesn't. So he doesn't drop a grenade, card, sorry. So I'm going to punch this elevator because by the time I get back from here, if I time it right, the elevator will be open and I can just get straight into it. I'm going to equip these rations. These have chocolate in them. These are pools of acid, by the way. I know they don't look like it. They look like cheese on the floor. But these are pools of acid, and chocolate in those rations neutralizes the acid. Don't ask me why. It's just part of the game. It's just Kojima things, and, you know, it's Metal Gear.
Yep.
And,
I want to know if there's any scientific... Like, does anyone know the science behind chocolate neutralizing acids?
I mean, I assume chocolate does have an ability or something, maybe. That's where they got it from. I'm not sure. I'm not an expert. But those
If you
pools...
supply the chocolate, I'm willing to look
Yeah.
into it.
I'm going like
Yeah, I thought so as well, but apparently it in this game...
neutralizes acid?
Yeah, in this game it just gets rid of it. Those pools will insta-kill you as well. Like, there's no way around them. If you step in them, Snake just sinks through the floor and dies. So, it's quite funny though, like the animations, like, just jank. But
I can imagine it's very much over the top.
yeah, he just literally, like he's in quicksand, he just falls through. You just slowly dip down and then that's it. These things are bulldozers. I actually don't know if they're actually called that officially. We just call them bulldozers because they look like bulldozers. You can't do anything to them. You just have to dodge them. And anytime they appear, you are able to dodge them by sitting in a corner somewhere or just waiting for them to move away. They will insta-kill you. I might get spotted here. Yeah. Just unfortunate timing. The guy was looking at me. It's not a big deal. I'll just move through this room, and then if I move this way, yeah, okay, cleared. Sometimes it doesn't clear depending on when you get spotted. It's not a big deal because you can just move there and not get spotted by the guard that's going to step in the room. Wait for that guy to turn, punch the first guy, and then punch the second guy. So now I'm going to backtrack to Jungle Evil because we need to get card 9 to get towards the end of the game. And for whatever reason, I don't know if it's ever explained, probably not. Card 9 just spawns in this Jungle Evil fight area in the top right corner as well. So not right next to the door, in the furthest square away. It just spawns behind some boxes up here. No explanation why. And you can't even see it. It's just always there though. It's just in the grass. So you just know where to run. It's literally in the lane. Yeah, no reason why. You kill Night Fright, he doesn't drop the card, but instead it just spawns here.
I come into this run confused, I'm going to leave it even more confused.
Yeah, most people do. Unless you're like aware of the run or know the game, most people are just like, what? I'm like, yeah. And like, I'm in the same boat. I run the game and I'm in the same boat. Like, it's random.
I have listened to the 13-hour lore videos on YouTube. I still don't know what's going on.
Yeah, exactly. Who does in Metal Gear though? Because it's all like, I stepped into the alarm there, but it's not a big deal. Who does know? Because it's been like retconned about 20 times thanks to MGS4, so...
MGS4, fantastic film by the way, if anyone wants to watch a good film.
Yeah. Interactive media, is what they call it. The interactive part is probably about 4 minutes of gameplay, and then the rest is, yeah, just a film.
Well, considering that final cutscene is literally a feature film in its own.
Yeah, it had for a long time. I think when it first came out, the final ending of MGS4 actually had like the world record for the longest like cutscene in a game. Because there's no gameplay, it's all cutscene.
It was beautiful though.
But you can skip it, so there is that. You can just skip every cutscene for the most part in the game.
Yeah, but why would you want to? Who doesn't want to sit there for 92 minutes watching a cutscene in a game?
That game's like 4 hours long if you watch everything. Probably more than that.
Just out of curiosity, that record for the longest ending, Death Stranding didn't happen to take that off it, did it?
Yeah, probably. It was probably Death Stranding, yeah. Or another game, some other game that's got a long cutscene at the end. But yeah, I think when it came out, MGS4 had the longest.
Just basically anything with Kojima involved in it at some point.
Yeah. He's a cinephile. He likes films. That's why there's a lot, if you notice, a lot of the bosses' names, like Running Man. It's probably a reference to the Arnold film, Running Man, and also, you know, he runs. So
a lot.
He does, yeah. So this is one of the final rooms. I'm going to equip the mines here because I'm going to need that. And I'm just going to take a step into the room. So here we see Madnar, and then we see Dr. Marv, who we were looking for all this time, and he's dead. And it's like, why is he dead? Who killed him? Because there's just Madnar in this room on his own, and one of them's dead.
See if this is another decoy octopus moment. I'm telling you, I'm walking off.
I mean, it might be. Not quite a decoy octopus, but Dr. Madnar is like a double agent almost. For some reason, he wanted his hands on the thing that we've been trying to get hold of, which Dr. Marv made, which is Oilix, which is a synthetic microbe that basically can generate oil out of thin air. Because in this game, the story of this game is the world is under the threat of no oil left in the world. And so there's very little left, and they don't have any more. So Dr. Marv created the synthetic microbe called Oilix, and it creates oil out of it, and basically out of nothing. It can take any kind of material and just create oil out of it. So that's why he got kidnapped. And we were sent to rescue him and get back Oilix from the hands of terrorists. Or Big Boss in this instance.
Or is it?
Well, nowadays, no, because of the Phantom Pain and those games, but and MGS4, but back in the day it was. So we're coming pretty close to like the ending of the game. The last few like parts of this game are pretty much the ending. This next boss fight will be Metal Gear itself. That isn't the ending though, because we do have to fight 2 more bosses and then escape. But we're pretty close to the end. I'm just going to go through this speech, and then we fall down a slide. all the way down to Metal Gear.
Obviously, a slide. They wouldn't make it just a hatch where you would fall down and die. They
no.
had to make it fun before you
Yeah,
got
yeah,
there.
exactly. Before you fight the giant walking battle tank, they make Snake have a bit of fun. I'm actually going to go into this room, so I probably should have put the first card on.
What if Snake had worn rubber that day
True.
and just got stuck halfway down it?
But then he wouldn't save the day. So I went in that room to pick up some spare grenades because I didn't want to like have this whole fight. The screen will flash, so for anybody that needs to look away, you're probably going to have to look away for this whole fight because this whole screen will flash the entire time, even when it explodes. I'll say when. In fact, the screen after it will flash as well. So I'll just say when the screen stops flashing, that people can look again, if you need to. So it's the one screen that flashes the most in the game, and it just flashes the whole time. And I missed those grenades, so that's going to be a slower fight. But I've got plenty of grenades to deal with this fight on. You have to hit it on its legs. That's where the arm is weakest. That's what Mad now told us. So we basically just loop up and down here and turn around and chuck the grenades at his feet until he's dead.
Because we definitely listened to Madnar the entire time through that.
Boss fight is done, but the screen will still flash the whole time, and even on the next screen, until I clear my inventory, the screen will be flashing red. So after that, though, I will say it'll be this and it'll be gone. But I'll just make note of it. I'll just tell people. So it's not too bad on this screen, but still flashing. So now we're on fire, and I need to clear all my inventory of this of these items. We leave the ration till last because obviously once you use the ration, it gives you health. Not that you need it because we're at pretty much at the end of the game. We also found out that doesn't count on the score screen as a ration. So you could use it in Big Boss and actually get Big Boss at the end. And I walked too far to get this. There we go. It's just claymores in here, mines.
I was going to say, I've no idea what's going on right now.
I went a bit too fast there. You're supposed to walk up, wait a bit, and then move through the 2 claymores, and the Grey Fox gets killed. And funny enough, we just teleported up to the top of the room for some reason. That's where he's supposed to die. So we pick the cartridge back up. Now we're being called by someone. Wonder who it could be. He wants us to enter this room here.
It's definitely a snake of some sort.
Look what it is, Big Boss. Well, not anymore, but it was at one point. It says Big Boss because this was done in the 90s before they decided to retcon the entire series. So basically now we just got to go around this entire loop and pick up a bunch of cards, and then we need to grab 2 items to actually fight Big Boss with. We basically are going to kill Big Boss with a lighter and Axe body spray, or Lynx in the UK if you want to. You know, we're all in the UK, so it'll be Lynx, but the Americans it's Axe. We're literally going to kill Big Boss with Axe body spray and a lighter. I know, just a makeshift flamethrower, you know.
I just thought it was really bad, like bad perspiration.
Yeah, he probably does, but also he won't be perspirating too much after this.
No, you're right.
So this is card 4. This next room has an acid pool in, so I'm just going to take 1 step into it to transition and then move up. Because if you take another step in there, you'll just walk straight into the acid pool and insta-die.
And we have no more chocolate.
No.
Obviously.
Well, there is some around, but we're not going to pick them up because it's just a waste of time. And this room down here is the only room we don't walk into. It has card level 6 and it's useless. It doesn't go to anywhere. We only need 5 cards. And this is the final room. And now we've got the lighter and the spray. And now I'm going to move back up to where the Big Boss is, and I'm going to start attacking him. The good thing about this is when he's off screen, you can attack him off screen. So we just send fire at him, dodge that pool because I don't want to, and I'm not facing the right way. It would help if I face the right way.
No, not linked to Africa. That's what he's doing every time he's running away.
One more hit should do it, and he's deciding to run all the way to the bottom. That's handy, Big Boss. Thank you for that. There we go. Unfortunately, he moved from the top of the screen. You really want him in that middle square at the top there, right in the top of the radar, the middle one, because the door to exit's there. Unfortunately, he moved to the bottom. It is random. There's not much you can do about it. You can try and keep him in a loop. If he transitions screens more than he did for me there, every time you hit him, he usually runs back, comes back through, and you can kind of keep him there. It's not guaranteed, though, so unfortunate, but I mean, hey, boss fight's done. I didn't die. There are spare rations around if you feel like you need a spare ration, if you think you're going to take too much damage. There's one there, and there's one on the next screen after this, but we didn't need it. So that's all the boss fight's done, and we're pretty much trying to escape the thing, but we just got caught.
Are you telling me There's an escape sequence?
Yep.
No.
Yeah, we didn't actually get caught. It's just Holly. She's in a guard uniform. Similar to how Meryl gets into a guard uniform. So now we're on the final part of the game. We're escaping, and we're about to get caught by these guards. We're just going to completely avoid them. And when I mentioned earlier that the speed that Snake runs at here is what Power runs at the entire game. So this movement speed here is what you get throughout the entire version of PS2 Power. And we only get it on every other version. We only get it here.
I want to know why he wasn't moving at that kind of pace earlier.
Well, that's because it's not because they didn't oversight anything on the other versions.
No, I'm not talking about like engine-wise. If he can run that fast, he should have been running that fast the entire time.
Yeah, for sure. He just decided not to.
He definitely gets paid by the hour.
Yeah. And he don't get paid enough.
No.
Clearly. So we got a couple of spiders still here. We're just going to walk through it. And we're just going to follow this pathway to the final ending. Avoiding all these guards because it doesn't matter. We're going to get a call here from the chopper. And I'm just going to stand here to the side. And I'm going to keep shooting these guards. Time will be when when the checkbox comes up that says I'm out of ammo, that will be time. So, and it's on a timer anyway. Basically, I think it's based on the amount of shots or timer, or it's how many guards you have to kill here. There's a certain amount of guards you have to get through before it does it. That's time. So that's the end of MG2. That was MG2. We don't need to watch the credits because they are quite long in this still, like every Metal Gear game. We normally do timing like on the board for IGT, so this would go all the way through the credits. The IGT stops when it fades into credits, but hey, we're not doing IGT because we're here. So that's MG2. Thanks for having me again at UKSG. It's always great to come up here, and yeah, thanks for Scott and Billy doing comms for me.
I tried my best. I still have more questions than answers.
Yeah. Well, so will everybody.
Yep.
So.
Okay, thank you, Theory and the other Scott, for that amazing Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake run. We are going to go for a brief intermission, but please don't go too far, because coming up next we have Hypnotics with, and they would pick somebody from Birmingham to try and pronounce this one, but here we go. Iblad Laputa no Kerumachi. That's me kicked out of Japan for the rest of my life, but don't go too far, we'll be right back.